Welcome to the agenda with me, Lasha Kingsley in Douala, Cameroon. On today's edition of the program, we are looking at some burning issues in the country with the recent incident that happened at the level of Douala seaport, where some containers of fish got bad as a result of lack of electricity. Dr. Nick Ngwayan is back on the program for the fourth time to talk about some of these burning issues that the country is going through. Stay with us, televiewers, as I'll be right back after this short jingle break. Dr. Ningwaya, thank you so much for joining me once again.
Oh, thank you. It's a pleasure to be with you again in some time, and just say hello to our listeners.
You are equally mourning. You are the former militant of the SDF.
Yeah, I used to be a frontline militant of the SDF at its creation, and then after that I stopped being part of them, and then in 2007 2008 I joined the CPDM.
Yes, the national chairman Nijon Frumdi, the emblematic opposition political leader, is gone. What memory of the chairman do you retain?
The chairman, if I'm who I am today, is thanks to the chairman, actually, because as a medical doctor, I was just sitting in my quiet corner, just looking after patients and minding my own business. And then, here comes someone, and that was in 92 or 91, 92 thereabouts. When he visited the East region, and I was a surgeon at the time there, so I listened to him talk, and I went to say hello to him. And interestingly, I'm sitting with him in that living room of the chairperson of the East region at the time, and I'm conversing with him, and I'm actually having a conversation with who are three of us, so to speak. But in reality, I was sitting across from him, and I was also having an internal dialogue with the spirit. For people who are aware of what I'm talking about, when you are someone who meditates, you can communicate with the spirit of God, and I do that a lot. So the spirit was asking me, "Do you see that guy who is sitting across from you?" And I say, "Yes." "He's just a bookseller, right?" I say, "Yes." "But have you seen what he has done as a bookseller?" I say, "Yes." "And then you guys with your doctors and PhDs and enams and governors and so on, you cannot do any of the things he has done. Do you see that?" I say, "Yes." So I was challenged. You get the point. So here we are with a lot of problems in our country, and we have gone to school. We call ourselves literate or whatever, big certificates, and the country is burning. And it's somebody who is sitting in his bookshop who gets up and say, "I don't like this," and he does something about it. So that was a real challenge. That was a real eye-opener. And from then on, I started to monitor him very closely, to learn from him. And one of the couple of things that I learned from him: number one, the ability to speak; number two, have the courage to speak up and make sure to protect yourself. Always be on the side of the truth and not be emotional. So these are some of the things I learned from him, and I've been trying to practice that. He trained me a lot, but unfortunately, as we were going down the road,
certain things happened.
Yeah, certain things happened, and I will not want to go back to those.
Now let's talk about the future of the political party. Now, Nijon is gone. What is the future of the SDF? Well,
the SDF used to be a very strong party to reckon with, and a lot of internal wranglings and a lot of trouble. The trouble of the SDF has to do mostly with emotional intelligence and how do you deal with a crowd of excited people, everybody having an opinion and so on. How do you manage dissentment in a group? How do you manage all these many groups and so on? So because the SDF was kind of like it's a microcosm, I think that's the word it is pronounced, the way the word is pronounced, of the country. Because before we had these 350 political associations, it was just the SDF and the CPDM, and they were very strong. So and a lot of people came into the SDF, and those people came from all over the nation. So SDF represented the whole nation, and you had francophones, anglophones, people from the north, from everywhere, and so on. So all that energy and differences were brought also into the SDF. So you needed a kind of a mindset to be able to manage that, and I think that's where the problem started. And they were very educated people, so to speak, in the SDF. SDF with a lot of capacities too. So there was this conflict, and I don't know how to put it, but it didn't go down very well with the chairman taking from them, and so there were always these fights, and what it ended up in a lot of people being kicked out, which is not good at all for the SDF, in the sense that the SDF was shooting herself in the foot, and that weakened the position of the SDF a lot. So it went into a lot of splinters, so to speak, and the energy ran down, and we are here today. With the chairman gone, is going to be worse if nothing proper is done.
But the roots of the party is in the northwest and southwest regions of the country.
Yeah, the roots of the party, because when the party was created, I think it was mostly the Anglophone problem that was burning within their entrails. How do we solve the Anglophone problem? Though in the course of solving the Anglophone problems, a lot of other problems in the whole nation would have been addressed. So technically, you can say that the SDF, in as much as it is a national party, is first and foremost, born in the Anglophone part of the nation, with its energy flowing to the rest of the nation and so on. So since the chairman has been from the northwest for 33 years, I think it makes sense that the chairmanship of the party should go down to the southwest. And when we go to the southwest and we are looking at people in the southwest who can hold that position, I think if they do have this congress and pull back everybody and bring back people like Professor Kale was there from day one, and he understands the spirit of the SDR and where they are going to. Someone like Professor Kale will make for a very good chairperson.
But we already have somebody from the southwest. O.C. Joshua Nabangi is already...
No, he's not.
We can say he's the acting chairman.
No, he calls himself first president, and I think he was a presidential candidate. Just because you're acting president and president doesn't necessarily give you what it takes to be the chairperson. The party is such a strong entity that I think O.C. still needs some grooming to be able to handle it. Given to that, he, just before the chairman passed on, the party had been divided into. There's been a fight in that house, with the Nietzsche group and then the Joshua Osi. So Joshua Osi, so these two have been fighting, and he's not in the best position to mend the fences. You need a neutral person to come and be able to smooth that out. If he tries to handle it,
standing in the middle of the deep blue sea.
Yes.
And even
and a crevice,
yes.
So to speak. Yeah, it's in a bad shape.
The other,
caught
you
between
see nature the other way.
Yes,
the way you see.
Yes, I think that's why I think somebody like if they could bring back everybody that had left that party, under a new umbrella, and make Professor Kale the chairperson, they will survive.
Okay, Doctor, our main point of discussion or focus tonight is what happened at the level of the Douala seaport, where some containers of fish got bad as a result of lack or inadequate or insufficient electricity or power supply. The question I'm asking you tonight, we've been importing fish for over 40 years. Why is it that we cannot produce a fish in Cameroon?
Yeah, the problem is that number one, we are black. Number two, we can't think. Number four, we just go for the quick money, but we don't think long term. And so it's very, very unfortunate, and we are not patriotic. And again, our school system has not been the best. So it's a multitude of factors that puts us in this situation where, like you're saying, we are importing fish for 40 years and nobody is asking the right questions and nobody is doing what ought to be done. So we are faced with this situation. What shocked me most was the number of containers of fish that came in. 600 and something. I don't know where they packed all those containers in the seaport.
It's for national supply. That is to meet up with the demands that we have in Cameroon.
But of course it gives you an idea of the demand, which means when you are talking of demand, you are saying that's the need. That's what we need as fish in the country. But before I came to the studio, I was going through my Bible to see where God wrote and inscribed that fish cannot be produced in Cameroon. We can only import the fish. If you see it one day, show me. You understand the point. How comes we are importing so much fish for 40 years and we keep doing this kind of a stupid thing day in, day out, day in, day out? It is okay to import fish when you are still very weak, but you must have a long-term plan where you are importing the fish because you don't have the capacity, Then you ask the right questions. What does it take for me to grow the fish myself so I stop the importation? You have to train the kids, get all the technology that you need to produce feed, to grow the feed, to do whatever, and then you put that in place. What does it take to get the fish tanks and so on, the water sources? You do all your studies, train all your children in that, buy the necessary equipment, put up the right structures to grow the fish, and then put up a system for storing fish and for commercializing the fish, for moving the fish from left to right, and so on. And it's done. So you don't have to have a PhD to be able to do that. It's not rocket science, and it's not that difficult. It's the easiest of things. If we cannot grow fish in Cameroon, if we cannot grow enough maize, if we cannot grow rice, then tell me what we can do. Are we able to make aeroplanes?
We
cars?
grow, but we don't grow the quantity that meets national demand. That's the problem. We grow.
So who stopped us from doing that? Who stopped us from improving on what we are doing?
There are about 3 different ministries. Ministry of Agriculture, Fishery, Livestock, Animal Husbandry is another one. We have so many of those ministries.
Yes,
Why is it
it's
that
paperwork. It's paperwork with a lot of people sitting in offices with ties and coats, like I'm saying, like I have here. This is the problem. We are talking about fish now, but I guess we are using it more as an example to show that as far as Cameroon is concerned, we are not doing well in the production of our consumer goods. That's what we are saying.
Yeah, fish is just one aspect. We have wheat, we have maize, we have rice,
oil, cooking oil, soap, washing powders. Then don't talk about machines. I think the only thing that we make in Cameroon,
you cannot go to the farm. Will you be talking about producing the machines?
No, yeah, because we are talking like Julius, the engineer,
the young
engineer, and Dr. Tata. They can produce the machines that we need. You understand, to do most of our work. So what we are saying is that we've not been thinking out of the box, and we're not thinking rightly. That's why our economy is on its knees. And the good thing is that His Excellency President Paul Biya has prescribed that we ought to have import substitution and from next year, I think starting from the time that he said that we need to have that import substitution, we should be thinking about it concretely so that it actually becomes a reality. That is the challenge now. Who has to do what so that it becomes a reality? We have not been thinking.
Yes, who has to do what? Very important, Doctor. We saw the efforts of the government in importing some tractors, I don't know, from China. Those tractors ended up in the bushes.
Yeah, they ended up in the bushes.
Are Cameroonians willing to go to the farms? Do you have Cameroonians who have projects, who've gone and table those projects with government that want to do farming?
No, that's not how it works, and that's the sad part of it. The way our school system was crafted, everybody thinks that when you get up in the morning and you dream about farming, you write it as a project and show up at the government office and they will give you billions to go do farming. It doesn't work like that. No. And that's why so many projects fail. Those those programs, Padre U or Padre something, some coded names and so on, where a lot of money is splashed around and you see nothing. Why are those things failing? For starters, let me tell you that as an entrepreneur, even in America, 80% of all startup projects collapse. They don't see the light. 80% of all startup projects collapse. They don't see the light. The question is why? Number one, it always has to do with the person who has the vision. It starts with the person who has the vision. You have a vision to do something. Do you have the skills that are necessary to do the things, or you're just reading on a paper and you're making a lot of hot air? Number two, do you know how to bring resources together? When we're talking about resources, many people think it's money. It's not just money. Money is good, but it's not the only thing. You can be given tons of money and you still fail. And that's what has been happening in Cameroon. People make a lot of noise, they're given tons of money and nothing happens. When we're talking about resources, is bringing together sourcing for the right manpower, sourcing for the right equipment, doing your market studies and seeing where you will sell your goods, and what are you going to be producing as goods and who is going to be consuming them. So it's a whole package. Above all, how do you produce? What is the quality of your goods? And what is the cost of your production at the end of the day? So all these factors, you need to be able to work with them and start doing something good. And this is the secret of success in life. It doesn't matter what you want to do. Start small. and grow. When you start small, it allows you to correct your areas of weaknesses. It allows you to source for the right people as you are growing. It allows you to use your resources effectively. And then you pick up the skills as you go down the road.
But the environment to where you operate also matters.
That is
the environment is hostile.
The
environment get to overcome the hostility.
The environment
nature of the environment.
The environment is not hostile. We are using that. I mean, the environment is not hostile in quotes, mark you. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to take away that excuse from you and leave it in the cooler for a while. Because if we get Cameroonians to go away with that impression that the environment is hostile, they will keep using it as a blanket as an excuse. Are you getting the point? The environment is not the best. What Lasha is saying is that there is something we can do about the business environment so that things flourish, and I'm happy with that. It's true. But I don't want it to be the number one thing on the table as an excuse, because otherwise everybody will walk away and say, Lasha and Nick, they said it on TV that the environment is hostile. I cannot make it because, no, this is how it works. Start doing something yourself. And then it does not matter what you do, there would be challenges. There are always challenges in everything. If you think that you are going to do something and there are not going to be any challenges, then you are a liar and you will never work. Everything that you do in life that is worth its while has challenges, and it's only the person who learns how to navigate those challenges and comes to the top is that person who succeeds and who survives. And if you think that you are going to squeeze oil out of olives, you are going to get oil out of olives without squeezing the olives, then you are the greatest liar under the sun. To get oil out of olive, you must squeeze the olives. We don't have olives in Cameroon. To get oil out of palm nuts, the palm nuts must be boiled and squeezed, then the oil comes out. So if you want to be useful and produce something, nature will squeeze you and the juice will come out of you. If you don't want nature to squeeze you, you are a liar.
Okay, doctor, most of these people who have been importing, be it fish, rice and other products, somehow they have been accused of not being patriotic because these people got the money. They would have invested in research and other innovations to make sure that they start growing these things that they are importing. If you have to look at the economic impact, 40 years importing, this money, would they not have used the money in developing those sectors back home?
That's exactly what we are saying. You might say that they are unpatriotic.
Imagine you were talking about 600 containers.
I don't know. I guess I probably, sometimes you read things on social media, it could be a mistake.
Just imagine. We're talking about billions. Billions of francs.
And then they were saying that the manka gagné is about 23 or is it 35 billion? I don't know. So you can imagine this fish. So we are looking at a situation where, let's take the individuals who are importing, yes, and enter into their minds and examine their mindset. Are they good people or are they bad people? I think they are good people in the sense that they try to feed you and I, right? Yes. They justify the fact that Cameroonians need food. So you see, I'm doing a good job. I'm bringing them food. I'm bringing them food from China. I'm bringing them rice from India. You see, I'm bringing them champagne and Dom Perignon from France. So I'm a good guy. I'm feeding them. So I'm Father Christmas. It's a lie. You see, they are more interested in their money than feeding you. It's just that when they bring the food and they're feeding you, that's how they make their money. They don't, and because you need the food, the market is there for them. So their motivation is not to feed you.
The money is the money.
Because you see, those are business people. But I'm sure you know that there is a difference between a business person and an entrepreneur. A social entrepreneur, for starters. An entrepreneur is someone. You see, a business person sits and looks at the whole Cameroonian public and says, a set of hungry people who cannot do anything to help themselves. I think I'm going to help them. And he says, and he goes, sees his friend, the minister, and gets authorizations. Okay, I have the capacity to import a lot of rice, fish, whatever to feed your population. They say, okay, yeah, I think we had a problem in 2008. Please import so that we can feed them, so that they are quiet. Okay, you see the business plan. And then they import and sell. From 2008, they've been importing and selling. But an entrepreneur does not think like that. An entrepreneur thinks and says, we have this large population of 30 million Cameroonians who need to be fed. And then he looks around, how are we going to feed them? We have a lot of good vegetation, good fertile soils, good rain, good temperatures, and what have you. We just have to grow what we eat. And then he says, what do we eat? We eat rice, we eat fish, we eat beef, we eat I don't know what. We drink wines, we drink all these things. And then he says, how do we get them? There are two ways of getting them. I can import them in the short run. While putting the systems together for production, I would import. And then in the second part, which is the mid-term and long-term, I will grow them myself. That's how it works. And then he puts in place a system to make that happen. So he imports just for a short while. And while he is importing, he's putting in place systems for producing those things. And then those systems mature in 4 or 5 years, and then good to go. And he saves us the importation, and then we are good to go. And then we start producing and exporting to other countries who have people who cannot think. That's how it works.
So it means that these people are only looking at what they benefit.
It's only about benefit. They give you the impression that they are helping the nation. No, it's about benefit. And this is the difficulties that they are creating for the nation. Number one, for all those imports, you don't pay for the imports with CFA. All right?
Foreign currency.
You pay with foreign currency. So,
balance of payment.
Good. Let us ask a very difficult question. All these people who import rice, fish, bread, wheat, corn, the alcohol, how many dollars have they earned for the nation? Because we pay in dollars. Are you getting the sense of the question? So you have imported 20 shiploads of rice. How many dollars did you contribute to its importation? None, not even $1. The next question is, where did the dollars come from you to pay for that stuff? It came from the selling of tree trunks. It came from that mama who is growing coffee in the bush. So it is the mama who is growing the coffee that's actually paying for the fish. It's not the person who is importing the fish. It is the mama who is growing the coffee. Are you getting the sense of the thing? It's the person who is growing the cocoa, or our so-called cash crops, which is another thing that we need to look at, the concept of cash crops. It is the mama who has grown the coffee, the cocoa, and the bananas that are being exported, that is giving us the cash or the dollars to be able to pay for the fish. It's not even the person who is importing the fish. So you say, no. The person is just making use of a system to be rich. So we have to get to a system where our business people and entrepreneurs start earning dollars for the nation. We have to change the paradigm. Are you getting what I'm saying? How do you earn dollars for a nation? So when you earn dollars for the nation, you are strengthening the economy. When you waste the dollars of a nation, you are killing the economy, and you are exporting jobs away from the nation. You are exporting the industrialization and the skills away from the nation, because it is the need. Necessity is the mother of invention. It is the need that drive the ability for us to develop our abilities to come up with those things that we need. As long as you take away that need by just spoon feeding people and so on, you never give a chance for the pupa to become a butterfly.
To a certain extent, those of you who are in a sector that has to do with laying the foundation of the country and the economy, I'm talking about education.
Yeah.
You are not also helping matters.
No, we are helping.
By training the people you have to train.
That's right. You know, just before I came to
people go to school, they study things that would not help.
Would not help. Yeah. Just before I came to the studio, I wrote out a long article that I shared with my colleagues who are in private higher education, because some laws are going to come up to try to beef what we are doing. And someone was complaining that he looked at that project and there is no place for PhDs in professional schools. And I just replied to say that professional schools don't need PhDs. What we don't need PhDs. If you go to Germany and you go to the Volkswagen factory, you don't need the PhDs to build the Volkswagens. You need those engineers, and those engineers don't need PhDs. It's a different kind of training. You understand what I'm saying? Professional training is different. But you have the guys who have PhDs in physics, who do
the paperwork,
the paperwork and so on. But to build that, that's not what you need. And Cameroon, and if you look at the studies, the student population and what we are doing in Cameroon, first and foremost, we have the state universities that are training a lot of people who have paper. Then you have professional higher institutes who are supposed to train professionals who should be rich in skills. But when you come and look at what we are doing in these professional institutions, 80% of the students and the professors and the courses that are delivered are for social sciences, commerce, accounting, marketing, international commerce, banking and finance. Are you getting that are you getting what I'm saying? Law. But very few people are studying things that would produce. Yet, when we are talking of emergence in 2035, it's not about the law, the this, and so on. It's about production. It's about being able to produce the goods that you need. So, when we are talking about the goods that you need, what do I mean? Let us go up to any of the supermarkets, I don't want to call names, and look on the shelves. You will see that 95% of the things that are sold on our shelves are imported.
And even the ones that are produced in Cameroon, people are even scared to go and even buy. They say made in Cameroon now.
Yes, people are scared to buy for a couple of reasons. Number one, because we are putting in people's minds that
what is produced here
is not good.
It's not good.
Number two, because what is produced here, the economy of scale is small. They are producing at low scale, so the cost of production is very high. We have to come to a point where we help those people who are producing, like Afro Brains and so on, who are producing and transforming to be able to do mass production.
Yes, so that reminds me of something. A kilogram of this flour made in Cameroon,
it's very expensive.
It's very expensive, 1,200 francs.
Yes.
But if you look at a kilo of what is produced from wheat, what is produced from wheat is way cheaper than what is produced from.
So that is where we need to work. Otherwise, we'll never correct it. We need to train many of our youths in engineering and technology, and then so they learn all these skills. Then the government gives them an opportunity to buy all this equipment from abroad without custom duty, and we help them to set up industries all over the national territory and start producing the things that we need, and we consume what we are producing. We stop the importation and we begin to export. Until we do that, we will not succeed. And then, like I was saying, our school, if 80% of your students are not studying the engineering and technology, then you are a liar. You will never get out of it. You see, you cannot be training everybody banking and finance. Where
are the banks?
Where are the banks?
Where is the money?
Where is the money? You have to learn how to create money or to create wealth or to generate money. Then somebody can bank for you. But everybody wants to bank, and yet go and gather all of them and ask, how do you earn a penny? And they will not tell you. So that's the problem.
So at the level of your institution, you have been doing so much, Doctor, in practicing what you are saying. We've seen you brandish images of, fish ponds and other farms across your demonstration fields in the country. So how challenging has it been?
It's very, very challenging. It's very challenging, and I can understand people have tried to do even a little. They get squashed, because of what it takes. Training in engineering and technology and industry costs a lot of money, and it's not cheap. But the country must drink the bitter pill. Are you getting what I'm saying? I think so many years back, when the country was having problems, the IMF came and deceived our country.
When you say deceive, what do you mean?
Yeah, but they deceived our country because they said that the technical schools were more expensive to run, and that they should come up with these grammar schools. These grammar schools, these lycées and so we have lycées and grammar schools everywhere. That
you
was
learn grammar when you come out. You speak only grammar.
You speak grammar and conjugate verbs. Grammar school everywhere. That, you see, so the problems we are suffering from now, the seed was sown a long time ago. And the thing is this white people who deceived us? Because number one, when you cannot train the engineers and technicians to be able to transform your raw materials, then they can buy your raw materials from you cheap. You don't know what to do with them.
I quite remember that those schools they used to call SAR-SM, they were school for people who were not could not go to the grammar school.
Yes, but that's wrong. SAR-M and technical college, we gave them a wrong connotation. Are you getting me? That was wrong. But in reality, which are the best schools today? There is a school in Bonaberi, Lycée Polyvalent de Bonaberi.
Yes.
In fact, we should change all our schools to that kind of a school, to lycée polyvalent. It's in English, it will be the comprehensive college.
Yes.
Okay, comprehensive college is the best. What is a comprehensive college? That is, you don't wake up in the morning and ask children to write a common entrance. You select some and say these are to grammar school, these are to technical. That's all rubbish. All the children who leave your primary school, just probably you don't even need a common entrance. Send them to a comprehensive college. In the comprehensive college, you have all those subjects in technology and engineering that are introduced. Okay, you can actually introduce engineering and technology from nursery school.
You now
But
start just discovering people.
Yes,
now
people
know what
discover.
they're apting doing.
I'm sure. I know you have kids. I'm sure you have your children at house. In the house, they have these building blocks.
Yes,
where
toys they play with.
Yeah, they play with. That's technology. That's technology. They're learning how to build a house. That is technology at that level. It's just because the way we have been taught, we cram a lot and then we can't visualize things. Otherwise, technology is just using your skills and your hands and so on to make things happen.
Okay, Doctor, thank you so much. Our time is up.
Thank you.
It was another pleasure having you on the agenda, Doctor.
Thank you very much. We have so much to talk about. Unfortunately, we don't have enough time. But the bottom line is our country must go after technology, engineering, and so on, and stop all this storytelling.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.